Hi guys. So this is basically a voiceover on while I was doing a painting from my series Woman in the Water, and this was the first one. I'm just looking at the showing you the different brushes that I'll be using. Um, they're all pretty small sizes, one and a half, finite, etc. But while you're watching me do this painting, which is of a woman floating in water, I wanted to talk about the whole aspect of pricing your art. I've had a difficult time with that. I've been reading up a lot about it, um, from different articles in Pinterest to looking at YouTube videos to listening to one of my favorite artists, Rafi was here, and I'm still having a challenge. Recently, in fact, this last night, I was going through a blog post by Tara Lever, yeah, another artist, extremely good. Her whole thing is to help us, decide and come up with our art style, etc., and pricing. But in reading her blog as well as some others, and I watched a YouTube video by another artist, and most of them use either the square inch method to do their pricing or the linear method, or time plus material cost. The thing is, I have tried all of those. I've tried another one where there was this particular formula, and I still have an issue putting a price to my work. I've put prices, then I've changed them, and then I've dropped the prices, and then I've raised the prices, and everyone you listen to says don't do that. You want consistency, but and then I would take off the price, and then somebody would ask me the price of it, and I would give them a lower price. And I know I'm cheating myself because the cost of matting my watercolors is like, let me see, 20 US. The cost of framing my watercolors is almost like 40, yeah, about 40 US. And I'm not particularly adding that on to my cost, which is very bad. So I know I need to. So last night I actually sat down and repriced my work using the square inch method, and I'm costing my time at $1.50 per square inch, which is very cheap because most of the people I listen to are from the United States, and they price theirs at 50 cents. The lowest is 50 cents, and some go as far as $1 and $2 and $3, etc. Now, the conversion here in Trinidad is 7 to 1. So 50 cents is really $3.50. And I'm pricing mine at $1.50. So which means 2 cents of 40. I'm pricing myself at 20 cents per square inch. So I'm pretty low. And then added to that, I'm adding the cost of matting, or the cost of the canvas block or the panel, or the cost of framing, and I'm still feeling guilty about those prices. The thing is, in Trinidad and Tobago, art is not valued as they should be, and I think it's the same everywhere to an extent. But people balk at paying more than, let me see, 40 US for a piece, especially if it's a small piece. But I think I have to get over the discomfort of charging at least more than 40 US for my work, because it is worth more than 40 US. But I think it's really, I just have that feeling for the smaller pieces. Big pieces, I don't have that issue. But then again, I don't really sell a lot of big pieces. I'm planning to do an exhibition in May to sell my big pieces, and those prices I never change. But the smaller ones, I always feel a little uncomfortable, setting too expensive a price, like 70 US or anything like that. Um, but I think I've come up with my formula. I'm going to place the prices on my pieces and then see how I can work at sticking to those prices. Um, Let me just go off topic a bit. So you will see that I'm started painting the woman in the water. I start with her face first. I'm not really much into painting faces. Uh, I'm now experimenting and now starting to do a lot um, of the bodies and figures, and I find it very exciting because it's not an easy thing, but I am enjoying it. I did one other piece in my series of feelings, and those are mainly full figured bodies, and it has gone pretty good. So now with my series Women in the Water, it's basically women and they're all in water but in different positions. And this one, she's on her back in the water, but you only see faces. You only see up to the face. You don't see the full body. So that's what's happening there. At the end of this, I guess you could call it podcast slash demo, you will see the full painting. I didn't, this demo isn't showing the complete painting of it, just parts of it, where I start with the face, and it's mainly doing painting the face. So what I tended to do with this was I drew it out first, basically outlined her face in a kind of dark burnt umber, and then started going inside with a lighter version of that, or mix your because you'll notice on my tray there in the distance you see four different colors. You need to mix the different tones that you want to use on your face so that you're not now mixing it as you start to paint, and that makes it a lot easier, so that when it's time to do the shadowed sections of the face, etc., you already have the paint there mixed. I think the colors I used were yellow ochre, burnt sienna, burnt umber, and of course white, because she's a dark toned, tanned sort of complexion that I'm using. The water is basically um, turquoise, dark turquoise, lighter version of turquoise, cerulean blue, and another blue, um, ultramarine blue. So I mix those a lot when and her hair is total red, red and oranges, but mainly red. But you'll see what she looks like later on in this podcast slash video demo. It's good to challenge yourself because faces are not things I've ever done, but I want to be better at it. I seriously do. And it wasn't easy, and it is a large canvas. And again, I'm accustomed to small canvases. I've only started, moving on to big canvases recently. So it was a challenge, but I liked challenging myself with this. Here I've reached a lot further. I kind of jumped, and you notice most of her face has been painted and her eyes, etc. Now looking to head to do again some more painting of the face, darken and put the shades in different spots, etc. So going back to the topic, pricing. I think you can do enough research on the internet, Google or YouTube or Pinterest, to see the different formulas or the different methods people use. And as one of the artists said, use the method that makes you feel most comfortable. You can lessen the price or increase the price as you see fit, because there are some pieces you like more than others. But at least have a formula to start with. So if somebody asks you something, you can quote that the formula is what you use. You use the square inch or the linear inch to price your art. And I think that helps you feel less uncomfortable compared to you didn't really have an idea, and then some pieces that are the same size are suddenly all kind of crazy different prices. Um, or you have and it helps with having a good explanation for um, you may want to price watercolors more than the acrylics, because with watercolors you definitely have to frame them or at least mat them, and that will indicate why it's more expensive, as well as watercolors are a little more difficult medium to use and it takes a little more time, so the cost is higher compared to acrylics. Acrylics are very user friendly, so you can, any errors you make, you can easily paint over it. Plus, I tend to use a lot of canvas panels, and the canvas panels are way cheaper than the canvas blocks. With watercolors, of course, you're using watercolor paper, but the cost comes in the amount of time it takes to paint the watercolor painting, as well as the price of matting it and framing it under glass, and the framing cost is normally very high. Whereas with acrylics, you don't have to frame your panel or your canvas. You definitely don't have to frame the canvas blocks. You just have to put the wiring behind it. But some people tend to mount their canvas panels, and of course that's a cost, and that would increase the price of the painting, because the mounting the panel is almost as costly as framing a watercolor. So all those added costs, because you want to be fair to yourself. And well, I don't mount my panels. I used to, but I stopped, because people are very fussy about what kind of framing they want, and I just not even going through all of that. So I sell the panels and I explain to them that later on, and they can have it mounted. What I do is all my panels have it's a hanging tag. It's like almost what you see in stores. I recently discovered them, where you can stick them at the back of the panel, and they can hang, and they stay on very, very long. And I buy those, and all my panels have those. So that is so they can hang it, and when they're ready at some point to pay for mounting it, and they can do that. So that's basically my concern with art, pricing my work. I'm sure everybody goes through this, and it's not easy. You feel a little uncomfortable, but we have to be fair to ourselves, and then we have to keep it like that, because if we're consistent, a person who bought our art early knows that the value will go up compared to you dropping the price and being. If they bought your painting for 30 US and 5 years later you've dropped the price to 10 US, it devalues what they bought from you. Whereas if they see that the price is going up, it moved from 30 to 40, 5 years later is like 80 or 100 US, they feel proud that they bought your work and the value has gone up. So that is one reason to keep it keep consistent in, you become known and people are buying your work more and more, you raise the price, but you have to settle on a price. And that is what came through to me from reading all the different things. I really have to stick to my price, whether people buy it or not. Too bad. So that those who have bought from me and who like my work will see that their work is now valuable. It has gone up in price and is not less. It's worth something. It's an investment. So thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope you enjoyed the demo. The next clip you'll see is of the finished work, what my woman in the water looks like. And I hope to see you in another video. And if you like this, please subscribe or click like. And I look forward to sharing more with you. This is Gail Francis with GAFRA Smart Art. My art name is GAFRA. And thank you very much for listening to me. Bye for now.